All righty, everybody, welcome back. This is the After Hours Show. I still got Kristen Graham. I'm going to be nailing her feet to the fire, if you will, and asking her some really difficult questions about the video in the recruiting process. So we're going to jump right in, get into the deep end. Kristen, how do you measure all this? Video has been notoriously difficult, especially you're pushing out the social channels, you're creating it inside of an app. You know, what are some of the key metrics that companies should be looking at, and how do they measure that?
Great question, Jess, and thanks for giving me the tough one up front, because it is hard. It's hard to measure.
Right?
It's hard to measure success, and that's probably the first question we ask when any of our client comes on board. How are you going to know that once you've implemented video, how do you know you'll be successful? So most of the clients are thinking around, well, number of videos or number of views or, you know, some typical metrics. Certainly agencies want time to fill. Time to fill is the big one for them. But, you know, I think you've got to look at it holistically. If you haven't got the systems to measure some of these metrics, our dashboard will help you measure things around adoption. So of your army of employee generators, how are they, each and every one of them, adopting? And then how each and every video is actually performing. So we give metrics around engagement score of the video. So at what point did the audience drop off watching the video, which is really important, because you'll start to see if it's a video job ad and it's had 1,000 views, but the first 10 seconds is 100%, then it slowly drops off. That's okay, because you're not going to employ 1,000 people. You only want the ones that are really engaged to, you know, stay until the end where the call to action is. If it's a training video, if you're dropping off, well, that's no good. You need to make sure that you're getting 100% viewership. If it's an internal message on a very important update, company update, again, you want 100% viewership. So we talk to you about how to manage your video rollout through the dashboard. So there's also things like number of minutes watched and number of views. And then if you're going to use targeting on our platform through LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube, you can actually target your video to audiences and spend money. You're going to then get analytics around location or demographics, age and gender information as well. So some of those metrics you can start with, I think. So number of views, engagement. But I think if you have got sophisticated ways of understanding how success with video has gone, I would start to be looking at quality of hire around the shortlist. How many of the applications were shortlisted? I think that's a really easy way to start to see how the quality is performing. Other ways could be around the experience. So have you got a candidate experience? So metric, have you got NPS implemented in your recruitment process to measure the candidate experience?
Net promoter score, NPS, net promoter score. That for those that aren't familiar, to survey, they can go out to either your vendors, your clients, or your candidates, and really identify, you know, how active they are engaging your content.
Yeah, and then the third one, and talent board. Actually, if you're not on the talent board or sign up, it's very cheap for the value you get about how your candidates view your recruitment process. So that's a plug for them, because I think that's very important. But in terms of the third thing, so there's experience, there's attraction or the quality of applicants applying. And then the third one I would look at is the retention, so the engagement of the candidates through the recruitment process. If they're retaining themselves through your process, well, I think great job done. Mm.
Absolutely. So if you had one place to put your video, where would you put it?
As I said before, Jeff, no silver bullets.
But you only have
No
one.
silver bullets.
So is it going to be on
One.
social media?
For me, it depends where you're recruiting and what you're recruiting and where you're recruiting, actually. And
Here's the answer that I give. You put it where your candidates are.
100%.
There
Yes,
you go.
that's the answer.
People ask me, should I put it on LinkedIn? Should you put it on YouTube? Should you put it on Facebook? Should you put it in a group? Should you put it in a page? Yes, depending on where your tribe is, right? So put it where people are going to see it. One of the most
Where's your audience?
right, wherever your audience is, that's where you put it. One of the most successful tactics we had was, sure, we put it up on those, but then we put it up on a specific landing page inside of a funnel, and then we would drive our own candidate traffic out of our ATS or CRM, drive it to that using email. And we would put a video in the email, right? Just put a little link to it. Say, hey, watch this career webinar we did, whatever. So, yes, put it where your tribe is. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, next one is, what are some of the biggest mistakes companies are going to make when implementing a video recruiting process?
Look, there's many mistakes that we've learnt over the years, and we're actually trying to improve those by arming the client with what to expect. Our app that helps you film the video removes all of those initial thoughts on around getting brand guidelines right. You know, brand is really important, and a company's brand, not only their customers and employees, they're very protective of that, and rightly so. So we lock down.
How do you protect the brand? So I know I'm very familiar with the VideoMyJob app and also Monster Studios. I was helping roll that out. But what are some of the aspects? I mean, obviously there's messaging. How do you help out with the messaging and controlling the brand messaging?
So the key person who's going to do the rollout should have, complete relationship there with your employer brand team or your marketing team. So there are a couple of elements. So the messaging can be controlled through a teleprompter. So if you're wanting to control that message, I think you need to be able to give the recruiters or the hiring managers some guidelines around what is important, what needs to be said. But you cannot control the language. That you can't write a script for somebody else to read when they're not in tune with that language. It needs to be an individual's own authentic words, but you can certainly help them structure the content and plan the video in a way that you are weaving in the tone of voice or the types of brand messages that you may need. But otherwise, I'm not a big fan of controlling the language through the teleprompter. Some do it. Certainly if I use a teleprompter all the time because I like to articulate my message and get it out in the most articulate possible way. But I've written the script.
Well, that was one of the key features that I loved about VideoMyJob, the app, was if you just use your normal camera, right, your video camera on your cell phone, and if you're not very good at ad hoc, just talking off of the top of your head, having those teleprompter, whether you completely script it out or whether you're just using bullet points, having that teleprompter in front of me was so much more helpful than just using my video camera. Anytime I'm recording an intro, a hook, or the outro, I'm almost always using, in fact, I'm always using a teleprompter. So I have to. I'm not very good at that off the cuff, top of the head kind of stuff, unless I have a guest with me, and then it's kind of easy. I'm banter.
Yeah, it's definitely the conversational type videos that, you know, they're very,
Your audio
probably,
your audio broke up right there. What was that again?
the conversational type videos where there's two people talking or an interview style, you know, they're very authentic and can be a lot more appealing to a lot of viewers. So when you do have a hiring manager that might be a little bit shy, or an employee that it isn't really got the experience on camera and might be, you know, I don't really want to get on camera, an interview style is a great way to be able to do that, and just ask them really. Hey,
I love your impersonation of somebody who doesn't want to be on camera.
I've seen that a lot. But yeah, going back to the question about where were we? I've got a. I feel like a goldfish today. Oh, there's the castle. Oh, there's the castle. No, brand.
Australia, so I'm giving you a few breaks here.
Mistakes and brand. So we cover those. The other thing, our in-app features help amateurs get on camera straight away. So the silhouette helps them not only position themselves on camera, it also brightens their face. So if it's overlit, it'll dull it down. If it's too dark, it'll brighten it up. The spirit level and obviously the teleprompter, they're all features that help amateurs get on camera for the very first time. White walls, you know, white walls behind you, it's a missed opportunity. So there's some of the mistakes. Having depth, you know, and seeing what's behind that person talking. When you look at the news and a newsreader's there, they're always in the third position. Like there's a third, and a third. They're in one of the thirds, not in the middle.
Camera, boom. Yeah,
that's right. And then they've got, you know, messages going at the top. They've got the weather down the bottom. They've got the time. They've got the NASDAQ going on. They've got video inserts. It's full on.
Right.
But why? Why is it full on?
Well, your app does a lot
because
of that, right?
They're engaging them.
Right.
They're engaging their audience.
The lower thirds, they can be brand specific. You can control the colors on the lower thirds. Lower thirds are those little captions that go down right here. I can't do it on your side, but you'll see it on this video. Up above and below, there's the top third and the lower third. I control those. We also have your logo, right? So you can control your logo inside of there. What I see a lot of people doing is they're using non-transparent logos. So they got the white or the black background and their logo on top of that. You allow them to put a transparent PNG file in there. So it's just their logo. It doesn't look sloppy. And they can control what logo they're putting out, either a light or a dark logo. And they can control that based on the background that they have, because you usually put it up in the top corner or this corner.
Because lots of companies have brand guidelines. They do. Most companies do, whether you're big or small. And what they probably don't have or haven't thought of yet is video brand guidelines. So we've worked with a lot of customers to help build out those video brand guidelines for them. So, and then we lock it down. So marketing teams can sit back and relax knowing that the brand is protected. The templates are set and locked down, so their army of employees can head out and start, you know, generating their own content, and all those brand guidelines are already done. It's set and forget.
Obviously, a lot more than is just not just logos and colors and things like that. It's a lot about messaging, and that's really, that's where I think the teleprompter really comes in handy. Is, you know, not that you have to script out every second of the entire video, but giving them some guidance as to what they should be saying to make sure they're staying on brand, staying on message is vitally important. So.
Yeah, and over the years, a lot of our customers have created a video Bible. So what do's and don'ts, and even in those do's and don'ts are the language that you shouldn't use, and sort of, you know, if it's got protective or confidential information on the walls, Be careful of what's in the background of your videos. So we've got some financial organisations that aren't allowed to film in. They have to use white walls or, you know, their logo, and they're not allowed to use too much of the internal environment. We work with Callus, same thing.
Just get a video wall behind you, right? So you get you can get one of those 10 by 10 screens or a vinyl sticker. It just goes right up on the wall, and it's got a whole bunch of your little logos or sayings or whatever you want, totally custom. And they're a couple $100. Excellent.
A company's reception area is usually a really good filming spot because it's visible, it's public. You know, so or the kitchen area, so you can show off the coffee machine or what have you, or the pool table, or, you know, the ping pong table. But, yeah, and other mistakes.
What do you think of walking videos, like people walking down the street or walking down through the office building?
I reckon they're good, as long as the audio is the audio is important. Yeah, I don't mind the walking ones, actually.
One of my pet peeves, actually. If you're going to do a walking video, at least invest in a gimbal device. You got these little devices that they're steady cam kind of thing where it will bounce the camera around. And
yeah, for these.
No, it's more than a selfie stick. It's actually got a gimbal device on there, so it's a self-leveling. So you don't get the shaking when you're walking and bouncing. Every time you take a step. I've got one in the other office. I'll put a link on the one that I bought. It's like $100 or so. It's excellent. And you just put your thing in there and you walk around with it, and it completely self-levels. So you don't have that jerkiness. You don't want your videos looking like the Blair Witch Project, right? So as soon as I see some of those, I'm like, I don't get seasick, but watching some of these are so close to their face, that's one of my pet peeves. So.
Yeah. And then just not planning. I think a lot of organisations think tech like ours, it is a shiny new tool or a shiny new toy. And if they haven't had experience in change management or rolling out SaaS products before or implementing SaaS products before, we've got a lot of content to help. And it's a free source, actually. You can go on the website and have a look. It's in our Help Hub area, and what to consider when you are implementing software like ours. I think it needs a plan, and a well thought out plan. You need a really clear use case in the first instance. You need leadership buy-in, and we've got some great tools to help build out a business case and help you get that across the line, the budget across the line to implement video. And the third thing you need is an army of early adopters, or one or two early adopters that are ready to get on camera and give it a go and be your early, your champions, essentially, because ultimately they'll help get other people on camera and build up momentum and appetite and motivation for being on camera. So you need to plan it.
Once one person starts to do it, it starts to spread like wildfire. Like, how can I get in this? You know, we did pilots at a couple customers when I was at Monster, and once one recruiter did it, they were like, "How can I get on there?" And the questions start going. So it's really exciting time to see that much enthusiasm around a product, especially obviously video is hot right now. So any other last I guess nuggets of information you want to push out there? I mean, what else can you what do we miss talking about?
Engagement and experience. So 85% say video helps increase click-through rates from advertising, and time. 85% say it obviously helps time on page as well, and I mentioned that around Siemens. But think about that for a minute. If videos, 85%.
I mean, I was getting 30, 40, 50%. I mean, I had some videos go 90%, but 85% as like an average is astronomical. That means you're getting people that are much higher than 80%, right? 85%. That's
So, so when you think, yeah, like it's just crazy, and you wonder why more companies aren't doing it. And I pull my hair out some days thinking, you know, why do we still have text-based ads? And
right.
yes, I understand we need text-based ads because there are people out there like my dear cousin and marketing manager, Tamara Gregg. She prefers to read than watch a video. I'm one of those video people. I'll watch the movie every time.
Yeah.
I do like to read a book, but that's only when I'm on a beach somewhere, and I haven't done that for years. So yeah, I'm
100 hours of video a week, but picking up a book, I'll read resumes, I'll read job descriptions, I'll read briefs on company websites about, you know, their technology and stuff. I read a ton, but if they have a video that I can just absorb that, I'm a much more visual person, always have been. So
yeah, and that's a really good point. The stat of you know, you walk away with a whole lot more information retained after watching a video. Our minds are, you know, more likely to remember lots of different details from watching a video than words on a page. Words on a page are words on a page. 500 words. Would I remember 500 words after reading 500 words? No. If I watched a video that's got millions of words, that might be a 30-second video, am I going to remember lots more than those 500 words? Absolutely.
yeah,
So the retention of information.
How it made you feel, right?
Yep.
So you have the visual of looking at a person's face, you've got the emotion part, and that's why it's critical to talk about the why. If you can get them to feel what it's like to work at your organization, you got to touch them, right? I mean, not you got to touch their heart, if you will.
It's all about hearts and minds.
Yeah, not inappropriately. Let's keep it above board here. All right, Kristen, thank you so much. After Hours, fantastic conversation. Where can people find out more about Video My Job and the
VideoMyJob, VideoMyJob.com.
There you go. And I'm going to be putting links in the description and everything. There's an excellent survey. Make sure you download the survey and take a read through it. If you have any questions, go to the website. I know they've got a contact us page there. Kristen's bouncing all over the world, so she's not going to be available, but I guarantee you somebody will answer your questions about Video My Job, or just hit me up. I love via Video My Job, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. All right, Kristen, thank you so much.
Before we go, can I give Monster Studios a plug?
Can you? Hello, bring it. Go ahead.
Well, Monster Studios, leading the way in innovation for job ads. As far as I'm concerned, their product is awesome. Monster Studios, download it today. Become a customer if you're not, and use the tool. It's free. If you've got a job, if you buy a job on monster.com, you can add a video for free, and it's definitely worth trying it out and having a go, because the technology is built by Video My Job, so a lot of the features are the same. If you want to lock your brand guidelines down and also then share your video elsewhere other than monster.com, talk to your rep, because the Monster rep can resell Video My Job to you as well.
So Monster Studios is an app that allows you to record, edit, and publish video right to your Monster job ad. You just have to have a publication, or you have to have a job ad on Monster to be able to publish it out there. But it's a app that it's available on the iTunes store, or you can download it off of Google Play also. So it's Android or iPhone. It's an excellent app. I helped bring it to market. Love the app, and I love working with Kristen. So.
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All righty.
I'll have a beer.
That's all we got, kids. Thanks so much for joining the Speaker Agenda Show, Kristen. I'd love to have you on again when we can talk about something other than video. We'll have to think of another topic here. Enjoy your time in London, okay?
Will do.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Make it a great one.